A clause is the smallest grammatical unit that can express a complete thought in the English language.
Clauses must contain a subject and have a predicate. A subject is what or who the sentence is about, and a predicate tells something about the subject. It's a verb. There are two types of clauses, independent and dependent. An independent clause can stand alone and still make sense. It contains a subject, predicate, verb, and usually a direct object. A direct object is the noun that receives the action of the verb. For example, the car smashed into the fence is an independent clause. It has the subject, car, it has a predicate verb, which is smash, and has a direct object, fence.
Dependent clauses cannot stand alone. They rely on the independent clause to make sense. They must be connected to an independent clause with a subordinate conjunction. There are two ways to structure the dependent clause, either the independent clause, comma, dependent clause, or dependent clause, comma, independent clause. A list of subordinate conjunctions are although, because, if, when, before, after, while, though, and until. An example of a dependent clause is because he didn't break, comma, he smashed into the fence. The dependent clause would be because he didn't break. It doesn't make sense unless you add the he smashed into the fence. So therefore the subordinate conjunction in the sentence is because. You can also word the exact same thing saying he smashed into the fence, comma, because he did not break.
A phrase is a group of closely related words without a subject and a predicate. People oftentimes use phrases as a way of referring to something or saying something. For example, smashing into a fence. There's no subject and there's no predicate.
A fragment is an incomplete sentence. It usually is missing the subject or the predicate. An example of a fragment would be didn't break, smashed into fence. It doesn't make sense. Who's doing the actions? It doesn't make sense because without knowing who is doing it, you don't know what the sentence is about.